Have you ever wondered exactly how many nostalgic references there are in Stranger Things?
It's a VHS-C, not a VHS.
Or how many times Joyce Byers shouted, "Will!" Well, we hitched a ride with the T-800, felt the need for speed, and phoned home back to the 1980s in this nostalgia overload Stranger Things edition of By the Numbers. Spoiler alert, if you don't want anything ruined for you, here's your last chance to hop into your own sensory deprivation tank. The first 2 seasons, consisting of 17 episodes, take place between November of 1983 to December of 1984, with the 3rd season bringing us 8 more episodes that take place during the summer of '85. And hey, Back to the Future came out July 3rd of 1985. These kids are about to see some serious Now let's get weird science. Over the course of the series so far, time spent in the Upside Down, time spent in those totally tubular tunnels under Hawkins, and time spent in forts. Now let's turn this up to 11. For this fan-favorite character, we counted 32 psychic nosebleeds, 11 government agent kills, and at least 6 stolen boxes of Eggo waffles, which means she got away with 2 charges of petty theft. So out of the confirmed 28 consumed Eggo waffles we know she ate, she didn't pay for a single one. Hawkins is a pretty stressful small town, which is probably why we saw 44 cigarettes smoked, with Hopper in the lead at 15. Probably helped with his 3 hangovers we counted. Our Stranger Things Losers Club has had 10 super nerdy arguments.
It's from Lord of the Rings.
The Hobbit.
Doesn't matter.
But all that didn't slow down any of the hormones.
Okay, man.
Unfortunately, Barb didn't get any romantic kisses, but she did get a funeral, eventually, albeit 13 months later. And speaking of romances, we counted 7 bromance scenes between Dustin and Steve.
Look like $1 million.
Yeah.
And here are some repeated lines from the show.
Papa.
Mama! Friends, don't lie!
Easy peasy, right?
Upside down.
The Upside Down.
The Upside Down?
The Upside Down.
Him in the Upside Down.
And of course, the name that everybody likes to shout and let it all out.
Will!
Will.
Winona Ryder alone is responsible for 91. And here are some other gnarly numbers we found. Number of nails in Steve's bat. Number of scenes in which Paul Reiser is holding his blue ball. Number of not-so-subtle aerial establishing shots of Hawkins National Laboratory.
All right, what are we looking at?
And the number of scene transitions where a character stares at something while the music swells to a jarring climax. And of course, number of moms hit on by Billy. Only one, but from the looks of season 3, it looks like a bunch of other moms may get their shot. And hey, by the way, do you guys remember the 1980s? Because Stranger Things apparently has a few nods here and there to this iconic decade.
Took away my Atari.
Mr. Mom.
Bo Derek.
Finger looking good.
Ghostbusters!
We counted 189 branded props in the background, which includes 30 gadgets, 10 arcade games, 11 tabletop games, 29 household items, and the biggest one, oddly enough, is food and drink at 61.
Nutty Bars, Bazooka, Pez, Smarties, Pringles, vanilla wafers.
With the most individually referenced food or drink item going to Coca-Cola. Separately, there were 17 nostalgic movies, TV shows, and commercials seen on various televisions. And of course, there were plenty of sick jams, 83 to be exact, that made up the series' nostalgic soundtrack.
You got to let me.
But what really inspired Stranger Things? We counted at least 47 movies, TV shows, books, and video games that inspired the style and narrative of the show. So that about wraps it up for this episode of By the Numbers, but that doesn't mean we can't squeeze in a few 1980s references at the last minute. We'll be back to solve the labyrinth of numbers, because that's not a knife, this is a knife. Wax on, wax off. I am your father. Nobody puts baby in a corner. Short circuit. We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
Guy!
Mannequin.